Summed up that performance unlucky.
Yeah, I think you look at the amount of chances that we've had in the game, and unfortunately it was kind of like the performance down at their place, where we kind of created 22, 23 chances, and it was like that today. Unfortunately we haven't been able to put one away, which is disappointing, but on the other hand you've got to be there to kind of miss them if you like. So there is that kind of positives that we've been in them opportunities, haven't quite put it in the back of the net, and again there's a lot of disappointing people in there because we want to win and we want to be able to beat teams like Grays and a lot of the teams in this division. But we've created the chances and unfortunately we haven't put them away today.
I was going to say the most pleasing aspect of that performance must be the fact you created so many chances.
Yeah, I think you look at Virgie's deliveries, you look at the lads who come on. I thought Mozza looked bright, Louis at times ran in behind well, and sort of midfield I thought Ollie Hotchkiss bounced the ball around quite well. I don't think they really troubled us at the back. And like in the second half, it's been like the Alamo, to be honest. But you get games like that, and you have to react to that and hopefully learn from that. And that's what we'll be doing. We'll be working hard in training.
In terms of who stood out for you today, you mentioned a few names there. Gary Silk was the sponsors man of the match.
Yeah.
Indeed, that was a defensive player who got that award. But
yeah.
In terms of up front, what do you think of the two up front today for you?
Well, I think Silky first of all did well getting forward. I think that shows testament to how much he wanted to go forward and how much he wanted to create. And in the last minutes, it shows how much we were chucking at them with Silky overlapping and getting around Willow. But the front two, again, we've held up the ball and created chances. There's been many a time this year where we turned around and we scored a lot of goals at home, and unfortunately today hasn't been one of those times. But we'll be working on that in training and making sure that we put that right.
Another pleasing aspect must be the patience that was in that performance today, because 70 minutes into that game it could have got a bit frantic, but your team kept in control, kept calm, and still created chances all the way to the end.
Yeah, I think that's a difficult thing. You're never going to dominate teams for 90 minutes. And at spells where possibly you're not creating as many chances or you're not in the box to score and things like that, you do have to be patient, and I thought the fans were good today, where they've got behind us and they've really willed us on, and they can see that we were trying to get that goal and we were pushing bodies forward and creating those opportunities, but it's a case of unfortunately the opportunities didn't go for you today.
A tough 7 days, if we think about this time last week, disappointing defeat, a really, really good win midweek, and now this result. That's 4 points out of 9. That's not a bad return, is it, for a difficult week, especially with two massive journeys involved in that week? Yeah,
I think massive journeys, as well as you look at obviously absolutely they also beat Stevenage in midweek. So they've done well out of the two games. Again, we'd obviously want to be beating teams that we've played. But that's not happened. I said in midweek, it don't matter who your wins come against, whether it's the teams down the bottom or the teams up the top. You've got to win. You've got to play all the teams this year. We'll play them twice, guaranteed. But it just means that we'll have to go somewhere else and go and pick 3 points.
You can look at 2 points lost today, but the most important thing is it's another point on the board and another point going into what is going to be a very busy Christmas period.
Definitely. We've just had a look at the league table and it's just come up on Sky, so the lads are looking at that, and you look at we've now overtaken Kettering, which a couple of weeks ago you'd have said we might be struggling, but we're now level on points with those, and again we've sustained this position with 4th. Okay, it's obvious to say we would want to go forward and go win games and beat teams like this. That's not happened. But we're still in 4th, and we've got to maintain that we keep those standards up.
The morale's good in that changing room. I take it by what you've said today so far. In terms of next week away in the Cup, FA Trophy. No, here, sorry, in the FA Trophy.
Yep.
Is that a good time to be going into another Cup competition, or does the focus have to be on the league at the minute?
No, I think the Cup competitions are important. Revenue for the football club, and also we want to be successful. We wanted to be successful in the FA Cup, we wanted to get through to that, and with the trophy coming up, Tamworth poses different scenarios and different issues, but we'll be looking to go in and dominate that on Saturday and make sure we get through to the next round.
Thank you, Gareth.
Cheers, thank you.
Penalty miss must have been disappointing, mate. I mean, Duffers has done pretty well in general, hasn't he, with the penalties?
Yeah, I don't think Duffers has missed one this season.
Yeah.
All penalty takers miss one in kind of a season. I think there's only sort of Alan Shearer, who's an absolute living legend, who hasn't.
Yeah.
But no, kind of you don't blame one individual for making a miss. Yeah. Duffs is brave enough to week in, week out to be able to step up to take a penalty, yeah. and that's just life. That's just football. Sometimes those go in, sometimes they don't. Yeah. We were saying in the first half that we've dominated, and if you get one of those goals, it's a case that you probably get 2 or 3. Yeah. And unfortunately today we haven't been able to nick one goal, and we've obviously got the 1 point.
Yeah. That's 4 games now without a win at home. It must be a little bit frustrating, really, more than anything, because I guess you couldn't have really done that much more today.
Yeah, I think frustrating. We look at the games previous and the results previous. I think that's 8 before today. It was 8 wins at home, yeah. And then obviously 5 draws, I think. Yeah. So you look at that, and that's not a bad return. We've still only been beaten once down here, yeah. And again, we're looking. You win nothing in November and in December, and you win nothing in February. The biggest thing that we want to be able to do is make sure we're there in April, and if we're there, picking up the points consistently, not getting beat to anybody, keeping obviously a positive today. We've kept a clean sheet. Yeah. And so that's good for Massa, and it's important that we're there at the end of the season in April.
I mean, obviously, mention about
Mansfield's point of view, missing a penalty as well to boot midway through the second half, and as you say, first team coach Gareth Holmes is live with me. Gareth, how on earth haven't you won that game?
I don't know. I'll have to have a little look at the video after. It's frustrating, obviously, creating that many chances. We wanted to be able to make sure that we've got 3 points here today. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened, but we've created the chances to be able to do that. I think the fans have been excellent. I just said to one of the other reporters that I think the fans have really got behind us, because they could say that we wanted to go and win and make sure that we go and put pressure on them. And in the end, they've kind of put everything behind the ball.
You've got better as the game went on, it seemed, and through the second half you created the vast majority of the chances. You've hit the bar twice, you've had a penalty saved. I mean, you normally rely on Rob Duffy from 12 yards out. It was just one of those days, wasn't it?
Exactly. Rob's one of them that's brave enough to be able to take a penalty week in, week out if required, and he's a confident player, and I'm sure that he'll be there stepping up for the next penalty that we get. It's a case that a lot of teams like this will come here in a great stadium, in facilities with a great crowd, and they'll be lifted, and that's one thing that we'll have to go through week in, week out. And so sometimes you have to wear those down, and we have done that. And then from then we've gone and created numerous amount of chances and opportunities to score. Unfortunately, it's been a similar sort of game to down at their place, where we created 23 chances, and I'd go as far to say we're not far off that today. Good clear-cut chances, I mean. So again, disappointed, but upbeat that we've kept a clean sheet and we've created those opportunities.
Do you not end up looking back on matches like this, and Grays away as well, as you mentioned, and matches like against Eastbourne here at home, when you haven't taken all 3 points, and think, well, if we had, then just think of how close you'd be to Oxford at the moment. That's what's letting you down, isn't it, at the moment? Just that little edge.
I think a lot of teams will probably say that. A lot of teams will probably turn around and go, well, if we'd have got that points, if we've got this points. Unfortunately, the facts of the matter is we've got points in other places, and having. Okay, you might turn around and also say that games like this and games like the Ebbsfleet are 3 points that should be won. But having said that, having not got those points, look how well we've done at different other places to be in the position that we are. And so that's a positive. And again, we keep harping on, and we all know as players, coaching staff, fans, that you don't win anything. You don't win anything in November or December or even February. You're looking at April, and if you're there or thereabouts in April, that's where we want to be.
I thought the fans' reaction was interesting today. They applauded the players off at the end, they appreciated the effort, but just before that, right on the final whistle, a small section booed, and I don't think it was any reflection other than just that it felt like a defeat. And I'm sure for the players and for you guys, does it not feel like a defeat in there tonight?
Yeah, I think frustration-wise, because you look at what we've done, you look how many chances we've created, and it's disappointing because them lads, if they'd not performed well or if they'd not created as many chances, you could have quite easily turned around and gone, well, okay, we've got a point. But because of how many chances we've created, we are disappointed, because it would have been great to get 3 points.